In this video, we're going to talk about a truly magical place in Costa Rica, the Monteverde Cloud Forest. Now, this isn't just any jungle, It's a world that's constantly wrapped in mist, a vibrant green sanctuary where you can literally walk among the clouds. Just imagine this for a second. You're thousands of feet above sea level, standing on a bridge that's just suspended in a canopy. And all around you, this gentle, almost dream-like mist is just drifting through the trees. It makes everything quiet and feels like a scene straight out of a fantasy movie. Well, that's just a normal day in the Monteverde Cloud Forest. So, what exactly makes it a cloud forest? Well, it all comes down to two things: altitude and humidity. At this high elevation, all the moisture in the air condenses into this constant, low-hanging layer of mist. And this isn't just for looks. That persistent moisture is the absolute lifeblood of the forest. It feeds all that lush, emerald green vegetation that you see stretching out as far as the eye can see. Okay, so we've got this incredible picture in our minds, but where in the world is this green mountain, or Monteverde, actually located? So here we are looking at Central America. Monteverde is nestled way up high in Costa Rica's Pilaran mountain range, and it's right along the Great Continental Divide. It's located in the province of Punta Arenas, which is about a 150-kilometer trip from the capital, San Jose. And that unique position, that's the real key to its misty, magical climate. Alright, now that we know where it is, let's step inside. Because the sheer scale of life that is just thriving in this misty sanctuary, it's honestly mind-boggling. Take a look at this number, 10,500 hectares. That's the massive protected area of the Monteverde Cloud Forest Biological Reserve. We're talking about a huge living laboratory. And what's really incredible is that about 90% of it is completely untouched. Virgin forest. Okay, now this next number, this is the one that really puts Monteverde on the global map. 2.5%. Costa Rica itself is just a tiny sliver of the world's landmass, right? But this one reserve holds an estimated 2.5% of the entire planet's biodiversity. That is just a staggering concentration of life in one spot. And this right here perfectly illustrates that diversity. Monteverde actually holds the world record for the highest density of orchids, with more than 500 different species identified. Some of them are huge and vibrant, others are so tiny they're smaller than the head of a pin. Each one just adds to the forest's exotic beauty. And of course, with all those plants come some incredible animals. Two of the most famous residents have got to be the legendary resplendent quetzal. People often call it one of the most beautiful birds in the world, and a howler monkey. And trust me, you'll often hear their deep, booming calls echoing through the mist long before you ever spot one. But the diversity just keeps going. Can you imagine over 30 different species of hummingbirds zipping through the air like these tiny iridescent jewels? And of course, you can't talk about Costa Rica without picturing this guy, the iconic red-eyed tree frog. These little vibrant amphibians have become a true symbol of the country's incredible natural heritage. With so much to see, it's really no surprise that Monteverde is a major ecotourism destination. We're talking around 250,000 visitors every single year, all of them coming for an adventure in the clouds. And believe me, there's no shortage of ways to explore. You can hike over 13 kilometers of really well-maintained trails, get a total bird's-eye view by ziplining right through the canopy, or take that dreamy walk across the skywalk hanging bridges. It's also a world-class birdwatching spot, and you can even stand with one foot on the Pacific side and one on the Caribbean side at the Continental Divide viewpoint. How cool is that? And this global reputation is absolutely well-earned. National Geographic famously called the Monteverde Cloud Forest the jewel in the crown of cloud forest reserves, a quote that just perfectly captures how important and beautiful this place really is. But all this makes you wonder, right? How did this natural treasure get protected in the first place? Well, the story behind its conservation is just as fascinating as the forest itself. So the story starts back in the early 1950s. A group of Quaker families moved from the United States all the way to Monteverde. They were pacifists, and they were looking for a peaceful way of life, especially since Costa Rica had just abolished its army. They immediately recognized how important a forest was, especially its watershed, and in 1972, they worked with biologists to officially establish the reserve, and that laid the groundwork for the conservation powerhouse it is today. And here's a fun fact you probably weren't expecting. To support their new community, those same Quaker families started the Monteverde Cheese Factory. It ended up being a huge success, and it's still a beloved local institution today. connecting the area's conservation history with a pretty tasty local industry. But protecting a place like this is an ongoing battle. The region has actually faced some serious threats, including proposals for open-pit gold mining. And this highlights a really critical question. What is the real value of this land? Is it in the minerals buried underground? Or is its priceless ecological role? Protecting 2.5% of the world's biodiversity, supplying clean water, and helping to regulate our planet's climate. When you see its beauty and you understand just how important it is, the answer seems pretty clear. But as we look to the future, it leaves us with a really vital question. For Monteverde, which is one of Costa Rica's 7 official natural wonders, what will it truly take to make sure magical places like this are protected for generations to come? Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.